Hello, welcome to this midweek episode of the Mum Boss Method podcast. This is what I want to talk to you about today. Did you know that at the time of recording this, there are 71 days until summer? Now, there was a little bit of discussion about this at boot camp this morning, whether the official start of summer is the 20th or the 21st. I think I googled it and it said the 20th, but I think what it means is maybe midnight on the 20th. But anyway, we're about 71 days until summer. Okay, that's just over 10 weeks. That's 10 weeks and 1 day. And as I look out my window, for those of you watching on YouTube, I am now looking out my window, staring at what is now turning into a grey day that started with beautiful sunshine, and I think it's also trying to rain out there. Summer does feel like a really long time away when I look out at what it's like now. When I think about the fact that I walked the dog this morning and it was only 4 degrees outside and I needed my big coat and a hat on, but actually it isn't a long way away, because as I've already said, it's just over 10 weeks. Okay, it's 10 weeks and 1 day. Let's just go with 10 weeks, because then it doesn't matter whether it's the 20th or the 21st. My Google search said 20th, but someone corrected me this morning and said 21st. Anyway, the point is, it's not that long away. Okay, we have already had 14 weeks of 2024. So if you think, oh my gosh, that's gone really quickly, then you will realise that summer will be upon us sooner than you think. So knowing that there are just 10 weeks until summer's here, or even if your holiday is a few weeks after that, it's really not very long. I'm here to tell you exactly what I would do if I wanted to lose weight and tone up in time for summer. And I'm going to give you 5 things. We're going to keep this really, really simple. Okay, 5 things. So the first thing that I am going to tell you is, don't wait. Start now. Don't think, oh well, it's 10 weeks, I'll start in May. Because if you start now, you will get incredible results in those 10 weeks. Okay, we're already nearly halfway through April. So if you wait another 2.5 weeks and start in May, you've lost 2.5 weeks of time you could be working on this. You can get incredible results in 10 weeks. I absolutely promise you. And if you wait, you're moving further away from your goal, and you're more likely to do something of a crash diet that isn't sustainable and won't give you as good results as if you start now. It'll also leave you miserable. And you're likely, because most people do when they crash or fad diet, to gain all the weight back anyway when you stop, because like I said, that diet and that way of life isn't sustainable. So instead, you could start now and make small changes that give you big results. Now, I want to give you a few facts of some things you could achieve in 10 weeks, right? And you'll understand why I'm talking about this as I go through the 5 points. So you could do 30-minute workouts if you committed to 3 30-minute workouts a week. 3 30-minute workouts a week, and you will have done 30 in 10 weeks. If you committed to an average of 8,000 steps a day, which would make you an active person, you could do 560,000 steps in the next 10 weeks. You could lose up to a stone in weight if you averaged 1.5 pounds per week across those 10 weeks. You could eat 210 meals, and we're basing this on 3 meals a day, that weren't diet food, but instead included nutrition ingredients, but also included some of what you love. 210 meals that aren't diet food, that aren't cardboard, dry, boring salads. You will be absolutely amazed at what you could achieve in 10 weeks with the right approach and consistency. But 10 weeks starts now. It starts today. I'm recording this on Wednesday the 10th of April. It starts today. So if you're listening to this and it's not Wednesday the 10th of April, you've already lost some time. So start today. Don't wait until the month before your holiday. Start now. Because if I wanted to lose weight and tone up, that is what I would do. I would start today. Okay, the second thing I would do would be to implement an achievable calorie deficit. I wouldn't go by the calories that MyFitnessPal gives me, because even as a small woman at under 5'3", it would likely give me 1,200 calories, and that's just not sustainable for me in 10 weeks. Instead, I'd work out what my maintenance calories are, and I would give myself a range of between 15 and 25% off of those maintenance calories. So I'd take off 15%, I'd take off 25%, that'd give me a range, and I would stick to that range as consistently, not perfectly, as possible for the next 10 weeks. Why is this important? Well, the reason that most diets don't work, especially crash or fad diets, is that you take your calories super low. And that makes those diets unsustainable for long term, because you can't stick to those really low calories. And even if that diet is something like Weight Watchers or Slimming World, or you've gone keto, or you've just cut out, restricted yourself from the things that you really love, even if you're not counting calories, you've restricted either the amount of food you're eating or your favourite foods that bring you joy. And so that's not sustainable, because it's miserable for 10 weeks. So let's just think about this in terms of an example. So if you tried to stick to 1,200 calories per day, and you're an average size woman who is somewhat active, you will really struggle on those 1,200 calories a day to have a social life, to enjoy any of the things that you love, like chocolate, crisps, wine, meals out. And you will find that really miserable, and you won't be able to stick to it for the next 10 weeks. So if you don't stick to it, you won't get the results. Now, if you think about going out to a restaurant, okay, I went out to a cafe yesterday at a garden centre, and even the light options for lunch came in at 800, 900 calories. Most restaurant meals will come in at least 1,000 calories. So if you are just an average size woman and you're trying to stick to 1,200 calories, you could have that plus a snack all day. That's no fun. No one wants to live like that. So instead, give yourself a more modest deficit and give yourself a range. Because by doing that, you're giving yourself flexibility to be able to continue to enjoy life. And that's a hugely important part of this process, right? The reason that you yo-yo diet, the reason you're on again, off again, on again, off again, you lose weight, you gain it back, you lose weight, you gain it back, is because you keep going back to these really super restrictive diets. You cut things out of your life, you don't enjoy yourself, and then when you realise that that is just a miserable way to live, you sack off the diet and you completely, miss all of the things that you're meant to be doing by just going mental with your chocolate, your crisps, your wine, your overeating. Who wants to be miserable and not enjoy their life? I don't know about you, but food and having fun and socialising and chocolate are really important to me. So I don't want to cut those out of my life, even for 4 weeks. Instead, we want to find a way of incorporating the things that we love into our diet, still being able to have a calorie deficit, still get the results that you want, but also enjoy your life. And that's what my method is about. That is exactly what I help women to do. So if you want to know what a modest calorie deficit is for you, then you can use my calorie calculator, which I've linked to in the show notes. Okay. So step number 3 is going to make adhering to that calorie deficit even easier to achieve, because this is all about the type of food that you base your meals around and you eat 80 to 90% of the time. So if I wanted to lose weight and get toned in time for summer, I would make sure I based all my meals on lean protein first and then vegetables and fruit second. So when I'm planning what I'm eating, I would think about what lean protein was going to be the main part of my meal. So, chicken, fish, tofu, corn, turkey, eggs, lean beef, shellfish, vegan and veggie alternatives. That would be the base of my meals for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So you've also got things in there like Greek yogurt and Icelandic yogurt, high protein yogurts. When we're thinking about things like breakfast, not that you can't have the other things for breakfast, but they would be the base of my breakfast, lunch and dinner. And then I would make sure that I add at least 2 portions of fruit or veg to that protein, and make sure that I'm filling at least half of my plate or half of my bowl with those fruits and veggies. And this is where we try to get all of the colours of the rainbow in there. Okay, now the reason we're doing this is because lean protein and the fruits and the veggies are going to fill you up. They're going to provide you with the nutrients that you need to feel good and have energy. And by doing this 80 to 90% of the time, what you're doing is you're leaving, 10 to 20%, so some space for the things that you love and that you enjoy. The things that you might term treats, or things that might be banned on other diets, like wine, like chocolate, like crisps, like takeaway. So for example, today, I've come home from boot camp, a little bit peckish, want my cup of coffee. And because I know that about 90% of my diet today is nutrient dense, high protein, loads of fruit and veggies, I've made my cup of coffee and I've had a dark chocolate covered oat biscuit with my cup of coffee. I love biscuits, That's my 10% for today. That's my little treat to keep me going until lunchtime. Would I do that every day? I might do it every day, but I am also quite partial to a square or 2 of chocolate in the evening. So I might not do it every day. I might not eat 3, 4, 5 biscuits. Okay, but I'm including the things I love. I eat a square or 2 of chocolate most days because I love chocolate. Okay, so this is me leaving the 10 to 20% of space for the things I love and enjoy. Okay, and these are the things that can still fit into your diet, but not at every meal and not several times a day. Okay, so think 80-20, 80% of your diet, at least 80% of your diet should be based around lean protein, fruit and vegetables. It should be highly nutrient dense and what we might term healthy, although I don't think anything is healthy or unhealthy, good or bad, and then 20% of the things that we love. That is a great structure for you to use over the next 10 weeks to get you amazing progress. Now, notice I didn't mention carbs in how I would build my meals, and that's not because I wouldn't eat them or that they're bad. I include carbs in all of my meals, and I recommend you do too, because they're great for energy, but they are the last thing I put on my plate, and I try to fill up on the protein, fruit and veg first. And that's simply because carbs are super easy to overeat. So if you've ever tried to weigh out what you think is a portion of pasta or rice, give it a try. It's really hard to guesstimate that. The kind of typical 40 grams of rice or 75 grams of pasta. Try and weigh that out without scales. Most people overeat those things. So I'm not telling you to ban carbs. I'm just saying fill your plate with those other things first. And I tend to weigh my carbs just because they're so easy to overeat. Okay, step number 4 is how I would structure my movement if I wanted to lose weight and tone up in time for summer. Okay, and this is in two parts for a really good reason. So the first part is I would aim to increase my steps to between 8,000 and 10,000 per day. Now, if you're starting a lot lower than that, let's use 3K for example. If your current steps are about 3,000, I would say you need to add about 2K per day. Try and build up to that, and then try by the end of the 10 weeks to be closer to 8,000. Okay. Why am I encouraging you to do this? Walking is free. Most people can do it at any time. You know, it's accessible to most people. You can do it while you're multitasking, so you can be listening to something. You could be doing a walking meeting with work. If you've got children, it's a great way of getting out with them. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your mindset. It's great for stress. But in terms of losing weight and toning up for summer, it is a great way of increasing how many calories you burn each day, how many calories you expend each day. And of course, as I mentioned in step 2, a calorie deficit, and you will have heard me say this all the time, is the only way you are going to lose weight. I don't know what that dinging is. So in order to make sure that we are, maximizing our calorie deficit, we want to be moving as much as possible. Now, most people think the first thing to do is go out and start doing 6 days of exercise, and they can keep that up for a couple of weeks and then they've burnt themselves out. I want you to first focus on your steps. First focus on being more active on a regular basis, especially if you have a really sedentary job, if you sit at a desk for 8 hours a day. Okay, so increasing your steps. The second part of this relates to the toning up part that you want to achieve. Okay, so many of you might feel that you want to tone up, and that isn't achievable with weight loss alone. So the second part of step 4 is that I would add in 3 weight training workouts per week to help me tone up. Now, some of you might have never picked up a weight before in your life. And some of you might be thinking that you don't want to lift weights because you don't want to get bulky. But here's the science behind what I'm saying. If you want to look more toned, there are 2 things you need to do. Firstly, if you're watching on YouTube, loads of balloons have just gone up in front of my face. The first thing you need to do is, if you have excess body fat, you need to lose that body fat. And we've covered that in our calorie deficit part. If you want to look toned, the second thing you need to do is to build muscle if you don't have very much of it, because that's what gives us the toned look. We can't look toned if we don't have muscle tone, or if there's fat covering that muscle. And most people need to lose fat and work the muscles to build the muscles to look toned. Okay, now there are loads of benefits to weight training, but this is not what this podcast is about, so I'm not going to go into that. But if you want to look toned, you need to lose the body fat with the calorie deficit, and you need to make sure you have muscle tone there to show through once the body fat has gone. So I would add in 3 weight training sessions. They do not need to be an hour. They just need to be 30-minute training sessions into my week if I wasn't doing that already. And I would prioritize this over things like running, spinning, HIIT training. Okay. I would prioritize the weight training over that cardio, that high intensity work. Okay, yes, that stuff might burn calories, but it won't help you to look toned or give you a great body shape. So I want you to focus on your nutrition to lose the body fat and with your calories, and then the weight training to look toned. Now, in my coaching programs, in all of my coaching programs, I run 2 live workout sessions a week, 2 30-minute workout sessions a week. And you can do these in the comfort of your own home. There's a whole library of recorded workouts for you to try as well. So you are easily covered with your 3 sessions if you're not already doing those. And you can do them at home with a small amount of equipment. You can work out alongside me. So if you want to know how you can join me in any of my coaching programs, check out the show notes, or come and reach out to me, email me, or find me on social media and we can have a chat. Now, last thing on that, please do not think, ladies, that you will start to look bulky if you lift weights. Okay, we don't have to have enough testosterone in our bodies for that. I've been trying to build muscle for years, and it is a slow and painful process for me now that I've been lifting for 10 years, and I don't think I look bulky. Okay, final step. This is step number 5. Okay, this is step number 5 of what I would do if I wanted to lose weight and tone up in time for summer. Okay, so this is to recognize when you need support and accountability along this journey. If you have been trying to lose weight for years, if you keep going off track at the weekend, if you've been stuck for ages and maybe you need a bit of external support to help you achieve your goals because you can't see where you're going wrong, you can't get your mindset right to keep you on track, to keep you consistent, not perfect, but consistent, there's a difference, okay, then recognize that you need that support and accountability. Often we can't see the small and simple changes that will make the biggest difference. Okay, and that is exactly what I help my ladies do. My ladies often can't see the things that are keeping them stuck, and that's exactly what a coach like me can help you with. So finding someone to support you, to help you make the changes that will make the biggest difference, can keep you accountable, can help you to get unstuck, is actually a way of fast tracking your results. And I promise you, if you get help from the right coach, and by the way, it might not be me, you might not feel like I'm the right person for you, but if you get the right help and right support from the right coach, you can get even more amazing results in the next 10 weeks. So I've already said to you that you could lose up to a stone if you average 1.5 pounds a week. But getting the right help, you could lose more than that, or you could guarantee that you lose that stone in the next 10 weeks, because you will be doing, your coach will help you, I will help you if you want me to help you. Make sure you are focusing on the right things. Make sure that you are changing your mindset around all of this. Okay, so it's a way of fast tracking your results, and that's exactly what I do in my coaching programs. I've been sharing stories this week on my social media about my clients that are on holiday abroad at the moment, wearing shorts that they set themselves a target to get into. I've got clients that have been working with me for 6 to 8 weeks and have lost a stone and a half in that time. I've been sharing these on my social media. I will help you to make the most of the next 10 weeks so that you get awesome results and you can go into summer feeling confident and ready to rock your summer clothes. Okay. Like I said, though, if I'm not the right person for you, I'll tell you I'm not the right person for you and I'll recommend someone that is. But recognize, if you have been going round and round on this circle for years and years, recognize that you need support and accountability, and to reach out and find someone that can help you. So if you want to know how you can do that with me, come and find me on social media at the Mom Boss Method on Instagram, Chrissy Hiller on Facebook. Check the show notes. There's plenty of ways of getting in contact with me in the show notes as well. I would love to help you, and the ladies in my programs will welcome you with open arms. So to summarize, because I've challenged myself to get this done in less than 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go and have my lunch. Step number 1, start now. Don't wait. Don't wait till Monday. If you wait till Monday, it's going to be, what is that? It's going to be like 65 days. Start now. You've got 10 weeks. Start now. Number 2, implement an achievable calorie deficit. Do not restrict yourself. Do not drastically cut your calories. This will help you to sustain that calorie deficit for longer and get you amazing results. Number 3, base all your meals around lean protein, fruit and veggies. Number 4, aim to get between 8 and 10k steps a day and add in 3 strength-based workouts a week. You can get amazing results from 3 30-minute workouts as long as they are well put together. They will be effective. And then number 5, the final step, recognize when you need support. If you have been going round and round and yo-yoing for years, then recognize you might need some support from someone else. And I'm offering you the chance to come and work with me and for me to give you that support. So I want you to go and start now. Do something today that is going to start you off now. And if you stay consistent, you follow these steps for the next 10 weeks, you will get amazing results. If you have found this useful, I would love for you to share it on your social media. Tag me, share it with your friends, send it to someone you think that needs to hear it, and I will see you later. Have a good one. Bye.